up, y'all? Welcome to No Stone Unturned. I am so glad that you came back to join us. I have a very special guest in the building with me today, Councilman Darryl Hurst. Thank you so much for coming to No Stone Unturned.
Glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
We are so glad that you came. So I want to go ahead and dive right on in. The Councilman of District 5. Can you tell me what District 5 consists of?
It consists of the best part of Baton Rouge, to be clear.
Okay.
But I go from the northern gates of Exxon. I always tell people, if you take Hooper and Greenwell Springs,
Okay.
everything in between and go to Central, that's my district.
That's a lot of feet traffic up in there. That's a lot of stomping grounds that you have to cover.
And some amazing people that live there.
Amen. Amen. So what made you want to get into this? Did you always want to go into public service? Do you know this is what you always wanted to do? Did something drastic happen that led you that way? What's the story?
So, like I just told her, I'm running here from helping my daughter's team with practice and transportation. So I was a football player. My sister was in sports. We played all types of sports, but in college, she played volleyball and track, and then college I played football.
Okay.
So I always knew that my kids were going to be athletes. But as you get into sports, you realize a couple things, that just because you play together doesn't mean when you go home it looks the same.
That's true.
And so as I started noticing that there were different walks of life for each kid, I would notice gaps.
Right.
So that was number one. And then number two, I was in a position to take my daughter and my son to things that a lot of folks from my area of town wouldn't do or wasn't able to be exposed to. So I said two things. Number one, I got to figure out how to close the gap over here. Number two, I got to figure out how to close the gap over here. So I started bringing those resources to North Baton Rouge. I said, if it's good enough for my child, it's good enough for your child too. And instead of having you go over there, I'm gonna bring it to you. So when it came to sports, in the household, we tried to figure out what was going on, right? Y'all go to the same school, y'all have very similar friends, you play on the same team, but your walk in life is different. It's because the home life was different. So then how do we navigate and fix that, right? And a lot of that was lack of education, which leads to low socioeconomics, which puts the same person in a different part of town, and your environment shapes who you are. So everybody in our town should have the same opportunities.
Yes.
So I was in Gonzales. My mother-in-law passed. She was living with us. We were supposed to move where we are now for 4 months. I've been there since 2018.
Okay.
And I felt like God put me there. I couldn't go to sleep until I committed. He said, you've been doing all this work with all these kids that I called you to serve, but now it's time for you to really get to work. And so I took my coaching hat off. I put my community servant hat on in a different way in politics, and we've been rocking and rolling ever since.
Wow, that's good. I like that. And I like the way that you put that when you say how God told you where to go, how to navigate you, put you on assignment.
That's right.
And that's what I feel like I'm experiencing now too. I'm now on assignment. I have worked my way to a point to where God says, okay, now it's time for you to align the purpose.
That's right.
With the plan. I also want to talk about, you had something in your status. I told you I did a little research.
Y'all, she was digging. She stalked me for a little bit. It's all good though.
I gotta do it. Christian, husband, father. That's a powerful statement in politics, you know, because a lot of times, a lot of people run off that Christian, but in a black man, it stands a whole lot stronger, I would feel, in the black community, in Baton Rouge, because a lot of our role models, a lot of them are, you know, from a different cloth. I love to see a black man, a masculine black man, a faith, a father, and holding that Christian title. So I just wanted to thank you for that, because
I appreciate
it means a lot
that.
in our community.
I do appreciate it. I'll tell you, wouldn't be here without God.
That part.
Wouldn't be here without my family. And I wouldn't be here. I didn't have my own village. That was a part of the community that sold into me.
That part.
So, tell you, Dawson Odom, Southern's former coach, said, Darryl, somebody sold this so that you can have an opportunity. It's your obligation to sow so that others can as well. And so that is ingrained into me. Small statements have powerful
That's right.
Impacts if you take those words and put them into action. Now, what I tell people every day is I'm an ordinary person trying to do some extraordinary things.
Amen.
I'm not better than you. You're not better than me either now. We're equal. We're all God's children. We're all given our purpose. I also tell people I'm not perfect. Because what happens with pastors, politicians, business leaders, who they put you in a whole other category. Like, listen,
whimsical creature.
I am an amazing husband, but I'm not perfect.
Amen.
There have been days when my wife wanted to say no, I wanted to say no. We walk away, right? And there's days when I'm like, man, I love my kids to death, but I need a break. There's days where I love serving the community, but I'm like, today I don't want my phone to ring because I'm human. And so people put these expectation on leadership, and you should have higher expectations for your leaders, but not the expectation of perfection. I tell everybody I strive every day for perfection to achieve excellence in the process. Because I'll never get here, but I'll get here. And every day, something I didn't do right yesterday becomes more perfected the next day. So, but never to achieve perfection. So excellence is always my goal, but I strive for perfection to achieve excellence in the process.
That's a word. Amen. Amen, brother. Also, the East Baton Rouge Parish Extravaganza. Okay, so
Let's
that's
talk
coming
about
up,
it. Absolutely.
right?
Let's talk about it.
First off, I saw Cupid and free crawfish. You got me.
So shout out to some other strong Black men with the delegation. They reached out. They do a great thing in the entertainment field. They reached out and said, hey, we want to work with you to serve the kids. I said, say less. So I had another event going on the Sunday before Easter. And I normally do like 2, and I say, you know what, I'm gonna put all my effort into making one great event instead of 2 good events. So we started putting our heads together about the impact that we wanted to make. Started making some phone calls. Nobody said no. So Mayor Sid Edwards will be there. I said, but it's Easter. He said, but I'm gonna be there. That's it. Sheriff Sid Gotro, so both Sids, right? Said if it's for the kids, we'll be there. So they'll be dropping 5,000 Easter eggs out of the helicopter, so there'll be egg drop. We have Breck, who stepped up to ensure that the kids have a safe place to play with an amazing inflatable park. So you can also bring your swim trunks. We have a water slide out there as well. Bull riding, meltdown. It's going to be a fantastic day. We have so many partners from Visit Baton Rouge, Baton Rouge Primary Care Collaborative. But we'll have free crawfish. The YWCA has been an amazing partner on this. I know I'm going to miss some folks as we talk about it. But they wanted to make sure that Baton Rouge had a safe place, an exciting place. And we wanted to bring people to North Baton Rouge that traditionally wouldn't come there. When you see these types of events, you normally see them downtown by the River Center, or in Perkins Row and other places. We want to bring people that don't look like us in North Baton Rouge for a great time. So the same way you hear Cupid and free crawfish, it's appealing to everybody. That's it. And we also have Cozy Lynn from the Voice that'll be performing as well. Dominoes, spades, sack races, egg races, foam pit for the kids, vendors, food trucks. It's going to be an amazing day. DJ Kicks on the 1s and 2s. It's one of my favorite DJs. And it'll be from 2:30 to 6:30 on April 20th, Easter Day. I tell everybody, you go to church, you feed yourself. No football is on, so you laid back, full belly. Come see us. We'll be out there for the entire family.
A good time. Thank y'all for doing that, and thank y'all for thinking of the community, and thank you for bringing that to North Baton Rouge. You could have did it anywhere.
Well, I'll tell you, that's all part of a master plan, though. See, you see party. I see people coming to an area getting excited about being in Park Forest, Monticello. Oh, this house is for sale? So I'll tell you, over the last 3 years, we've been doing very similar events. This event, we expect about 5,000 people. The one at Christmas, we had about 3,500. Our Halloween event, we wanted a safe place for kids. Yeah. It's about 3,000 people. homes are selling faster, home values are going up, new rooftops are coming. So when that happens, we start seeing resources come back to our community. The more activity, the more investment, the more impact. So there's a method to the madness. It's not just, I want to hold a party in North Baton Rouge, but it's a party with a purpose.
That's right. I'm here for it. I am here for it. So speaking of the purpose, the plan, the mission, the goal. What's the mission, the goal for District 5? Like what's your plan for it?
So
Ultimate goal
is I want District 5 to look like St. George. I say it that way. They strategically carved out neighborhoods to make what they would want to be the most beautiful area in East Baton Rouge Parish. There's 3 ways to get there in North Baton Rouge. Number 1, we have to have community revitalization efforts in our neighborhoods. So my whole district is going to the legislature except for a small part of it to create crime prevention and improvement districts. So an example is like that Glen Oaks area. Once it goes to the poll in the fall, we'll have, because they're gonna vote yes. They've been waiting for it. They're like, where is it? We had a slight delay. They'll have $500,000 a year for beautification, crime prevention, youth programming. Delmont, Brookstown, the Marydale, which we call Victoria Farms area.
Right.
Each one of those is somewhere around $200,000 a year. So that's money that they've never seen before to beautify the area. Then the economic corridor is working on Plank Airline Jewel. We have a grocery store coming to Jewel Road. Our goal is to this quarter pass legislation that allows us over the next 10 years to put $18.3 million on Plank and about $9 million on Airline Highway. Both starting at Evangeline on Plank and Airline, both ending at the Plank and Airline crossing around Metro Bowl.
Got it.
Jewel Road, bringing a grocery store. Then I'm gonna work my way back down Greenwell Springs, but truly master planning. And finally, the thing we are working on is improving our neighborhoods. So a lot of times we work on violence. We wanna go to the house. We wanna strictly focus on the siblings so that they don't go out and do retaliatory things because of a lost loved one.
That's true.
But what we're not focusing on, and that's important.
That's true.
But what we're not focusing on is the neighbor next door who is doing her best but still not making ends meet. And those kids, because of lack of resources, become the next level of criminal activity in our community because they just want to have what everybody else has. They want to have full bellies and clean clothes. And so the plan I have called Blocks, which is building lifetime opportunities for communities with key success, takes us from poverty to disposable income. That's the real key. When we get education, employment, and entrepreneurship, so clean communities, clean and safe communities, clean and safe corridors with economic stimulus, and then taking individuals and changing their mindsets to be employed, educated, or become entrepreneurs. That's what's going to really change our community. And you have to plant the seed, you have to water it for years, and then plant more seeds and water it, and it becomes a gift that keeps on giving because people with money, they rarely intentionally commit crimes.
That's right.
So when I put money back in my community, and they have the resources and tools, that'll change. That's one of Mayor Sid Edwards' goals is to be that beacon of hope for North Baton Rouge. Yeah. And so it's a plan I put together about 2 years ago. They've highly considered adopting it as a plan for North Baton Rouge, but I'm moving forward either way.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what's up. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for your service. That was so passionate. I'm on board.
She's moving to the district, y'all. I heard it in the voice. She's coming to the event, buying a house on there. Absolutely.
Almost there. But speaking of that area though, it's the construction, the streets on Plank.
So I will tell you this. If your engine was not performing well, can somebody just wash it and make it run better?
Nah.
No, you have to take it apart.
That's right.
So part of fixing something or going through a healing process, even if it's thinking about counseling, you got to let the inside out before you can heal, right?
That's true.
So we're going to break it down like layers of an onion and then put it back together. And that's what Plank Road is. So shout out to Mayor Sharon Weston Broom on that piece. A lot of people see it as destruction, but you have to tear something down to fix it.
That's real.
And so we complained about the potholes,
I
but now that the potholes are being fixed, we complain about the process. So
I did. I complained about how I had to get on the bumps and bruises to turn into Tony's parking lot.
That's right. Now it's a different bump and bruise, but this is like a scab.
I feel you.
After you've had surgery,
Right.
it starts to scab up a little bit, and then eventually you take it off and the skin is smooth. And so we're looking for that smoothing part of the skin, but it's coming. And I think one of the issues that is so many streets happening at one time,
Okay.
that it frustrates people, but if we're a community that wants to heal together, we're gonna hurt together, but then we're gonna enjoy yes, right, we're gonna enjoy and heal together as well. And so when those streets heal, no more new front-end alignments needed every quarter. So it's gonna work out well.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the beautification of Plank Road.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being here. Any last words that you would like to leave the people of No Stone Unturned?
Well, I want to talk to the people of North Baton Rouge. A lot of times we complain about what's happening in our neighborhood. Listen, nobody's gonna put on a cape and come save us.
Hello, somebody.
We have to save ourselves. So I want you to take care of your block. If you take care of your block, the trash, if you see a lot that needs to be cut, don't wait for somebody else to cut it.
That's real.
Take care of your neighborhood. If somebody's dumping, don't say, hey, they're dumping. Listen, council members are one person, and I just told you how big the district was. I have a life just like y'all do. I know what I signed up for. But when I leave here, I'm going back to my daughter. So I don't see every corner, even though we have a black guy that drives it. We'll pick up on a Tuesday, they'll dump on a Wednesday. We think the problem's resolved. They put more down. Tell us what's going on. Get involved, come to these meetings, make sure your neighbors are registered to vote. Listen, if I don't do good, get me out. If the other person doesn't do good, get them out. Make sure you hold your elected officials accountable too. That part. Because if you complain about what's going on, but you don't get out to vote to put the right people in office to make it better, then you become part of the problem, not part of the solution. So make sure that you are actively engaged in your neighborhood, civically engaged in the electoral process, and make sure you make the kind of impact that you want us to make.
That's it. That's it. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
No Stone Unturned. So tell the people where they can find you. What's your socials? How can they get in touch with you if they need you?
On Instagram, live in District 5 or Darryl Hurst 225. On Facebook, we are Darryl Hurst or District 5 Councilman Darryl Hurst. And if you want to reach my office because you have a question or concern, you can reach us at 225-389-4831 or at Council District, the numbers 05, the letters D as in David, L as in Larry. So Council District 05DL at brla.gov.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm glad to be here. Her energy is infectious. Make sure y'all like the page. Make sure you share it. And make sure you get everybody else to follow it.
That's part. We can close just like that. Thank y'all so much for watching No Stone Unturned. Until next time, bye.
Be blessed. Peace.